where the trunk would normally be in this limo, there's a hot tub. And I just thought that was like the most ridiculous thing ever, and I needed to find that limo. I didn't do too well. So that's still on the bucket list for me.
Come on, everybody, get to your seats. We're going to start talking about fear. You guys were just saying that that's the biggest thing that's holding you back. I know it is.
All right, we're going to get started. Ready? Come on in. We're getting started, everybody. Come on in. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, we're going to get started. Come on in, everybody. Grab a chair. Grab a chair. Come on in, guys. We're going to get started. Okay, we're going to get started in 30 seconds. JP. Everybody should have got 2 handouts. Did you guys all get 2 handouts? Raise your hand if you didn't get 2 handouts. Which one are you missing? This one? Okay. You're missing this one? Okay. All right. Let me just grab some handouts. Okay. I'll just get it. Okay. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. Ron said we're going to do Q&A, question and answer during lunch. So it's kind of a working lunch. Who didn't get this one? The second one. You can do one. See if there's enough for. You want to hand them out? Here. Want to pass them out? Okay. We might need. Okay. All right. Did everybody get a copy? There's a couple over here that need one. Okay. All right. Well, we are super excited. Here I'm going to introduce the love of my life, Mr. Brian Wolff. Woo!
Well, it's great to be here with you guys.
Oh, are you hot, baby? I mean.
Testing 1, 2. Okay, yes. You guys are easily rileable today. All right, we're going to have a lot of fun here in the next little bit, hour and whatever, before lunch. And we're going to talk about some very important stuff. You guys, you know how I am about notes. You know at the Quick Start, if you've seen us there recently, we have a new section called the Top 10 Notes on Taking Notes. And so I actually do that during lunch on the first day. So this is a very important section for you to take notes, and you have some a couple of handouts here that are going to be helpful, but there's going to be a lot to take notes on that is not on your handouts, okay? That's we're going to give you guys. Remember that book called The Secret? And they said, oh, The Secret, what's the secret and all that? And everybody was like, what is that? And it got very popular. Guys, there is a secret to this. There is a real, I mean, we talk about, I'm going to stand up here so I can see you guys in the back better. But there is a secret. There's a secret that we're going to talk about this morning that's two words will reveal the truth to you. And you will understand a new concept that you never totally understood before. And you're going to use this concept to eliminate fear, to master fear in your life. Okay, actually, when I say eliminate fear, I don't want you to eliminate fear. Fear is good. Fear can be very helpful. Fear can be very motivating when you think about it and use it properly. Fear is a great source of energy, and you can use it. When that fear is channeled, when that energy is channeled into action, that's the prime use of fear. Okay, write this down. The best use of fear is to channel that energy into action. So we all know the actions. Guys, what's the most productive action you can do in real estate investing? Call people. Call
Pick up
sellers.
the telephone.
Call sellers. Call sellers and go out to their houses. Okay, but that's the scariest part. Okay, and I'm going to get into, there's a formula why that's so scary. I'm going to tell you guys why that's so scary to you. But we're going to talk about fear because there's two parts of this business. Write this down, guys. Two parts of real estate investing: mechanics and mindset. Now, Ron this morning has been going over a lot of the mechanics of what you say, and here's the words, and this is what should be coming out of your mouth. That's kind of the mechanical side of it. And when they say this, you say this, you know, guys, that's mechanics. You can role play, you can practice a little bit, and you can learn mechanics. What the other part, and the part that you're not, anybody can do the mechanics. I have absolute faith that everybody in here can master the mechanics of real estate investing and of closing calls and get good at closing calls. Why aren't you doing it? Because of the mindset. The mindset. You got fear and you're afraid, and there's reasons for that. So let's start to get into the fear here. Now, I know you guys, most of you know us, and most of you, but there's several of you who actually haven't been to the Quick Start who might not know us. Okay. So just to give you just...
Oh, I'm jumping. That's right.
Music. Master the fear.
Okay. This is a... Yes, all right. That's a great song. Good energy, honey. Hey, can we put that higher on the screen maybe? Raise it up a little higher so it's aimed so you guys can see it better in the back.
Thank you. Good thinking. He's so technical. John can do it.
Yeah, right. Okay. So guys, we've been around a long time. We've done a lot of investing. We've closed a lot of deals. We used to actually teach Ron's, we used to teach Ron's Pretty House Boot Camp. Thank you, John. And we've done a lot of video production. We have a lot of students, which many of you guys are, all of you masters have our our Wolff Legrand, you know, the system we made with Ron with all the scripts and the videos, all that. So you guys know us pretty well from that. Okay. Also, guys, keep going, hon.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Okay, you guys, so what are you afraid of? Keep going. Loss. Okay, we're all afraid of loss and some form of loss. So write that down, guys. What we're afraid of is loss. So what are, you know, and if you get right down to all the things we're afraid of losing, what are we most afraid of losing is our life, you know, so fear of death obviously is a big one. Fear of loss of your job, fear of loss of money, fear of loss of a lot of things, and it's always loss. You know, you're going to lose something, and you have something now. And what do you have right now, guys, for real estate investing? You haven't done a deal yet, but what do you have in real estate investing? High hopes.
High hopes.
Yes, you have high hopes for success right now. And guys, if you lose the control, if you feel like they're in control of the conversation, I'm not in control of this, you know, they're in control, I'm not handling it right. And then when you get rejected, that's ingrained in you. It's in your limbic system. I mean, when we were all cavemen and women, we were pack animals like wolves, okay? And we would go around in packs.
Wolves.
And boy, if you lost the respect of your pack and you got ostracized by your pack and you had to go make it alone in the forest, good luck. Okay, so that's why it's in you so much that if you get rejected by somebody, it's a visceral reaction that you can't always control. It actually, you feel fear going through you and you feel, bad feelings, okay? So what do? We're going to do some things here to be able to control that. The scary things about fear. I think we have some
number one,
music.
it freezes you into inaction. Number two, it saps your energy. Number three, it distracts your focus. And number four, it makes you feel weak, which is the opposite of what we want.
I think we have some music things here. Yeah. So guys, that's what happens when you feel scared. Is that scary? Are you guys starting to feel a little scared? See, this music can make you feel scared. Isn't it funny how emotions and your mindset work? Because different things can make you feel different emotions. But just by virtue of us playing that song right there, what if we played a different song? And you could actually make yourself feel scared if you're listening to that song. But guess what? You can also make yourself feel confident and happy by listening to a different song. So
That's right.
So guys, right now you need to be strong.
You need to be strong.
Why do you need to be strong? Because you're doing something new. You're trying something new. You haven't closed 100 pretty house deals yet, okay? Now, after you do that, do you think you're going to be afraid of a deal or afraid of a call? After you close 5, do you think you're going to be afraid of a seller call? Well, I'm not saying you're going to be impervious to fear in all situations. And after you close deals, you still will have sometimes you'll feel little butterflies in your stomach. Remember, fear is a whole level of gradations. I mean, there's abject terror on this one end, and there's little butterflies in your stomach on this end. But I'm telling you, the little butterflies in your stomach will keep you from picking up the phone. Doesn't have to be abject terror. Just has to be little butterflies, and you'll find something else to do. Okay? Yeah. That's right. Listen to Ed singing,
Ron
and
said
you'll
you can't be sad listening to Ed's song.
That'll get rid of your fear.
That'll give you something.
That'll get
That's
you
a good
over your
point,
fear.
Ron.
That's right. So, guys, mastering fear is a great challenge of your life, and
That's
is
right.
what has probably held you back from doing more of what you would love to be doing. It's probably a fear-based thing. Don't let fear freeze you guys, and this is the main thing, what I want you to do, and that's your number one goal, is we're going to turn that fear energy into action.
Who wants to turn fear into action? Okay,
Yes.
I did want to tell you one quick thing. I'm big on participation. The more you participate, the more you learn, right? Well, this is the 3-minute sand timer because you want to get on and off the phone fast. Are a lot of seller suspects? Yes. So you don't want to get burnt out on the suspects. So this is a 3-minute sand timer. Who wants a 3-minute sand timer? I got a couple.
Oh, did you have to give one to Sean? You're just encouraging him.
Well,
Okay.
participation.
Go to the next one, honey. Okay, so guys, I like this quote, and I like you get to write down quotes. Sometimes quotes can be very helpful, and I have quotes posted all over the place. So courage is resistance to fear. Guys, it's not like you're never going to feel fear. Like I said, fear is good. You want to feel fear. If you're feeling fear, there's a reason you're feeling it. Now, it may be that you are not thinking properly, and you're bringing fear upon you. And that's what we're going to fix this morning.
Yeah, I love that quote
Okay.
by Mark Twain.
Yes, and it's mastery fear. So mastering your fear is really the great challenge. If you guys had zero fear of ever picking up the phone, who do you think has zero fear of picking up the phone? Yeah, pretty much Lynette.
I love talking to sellers on the phone. That's where you make your money.
Right, but do you think she was always that way?
Nope.
No, when she started, she was not so confident like this. Why? She had fear, and she didn't know the right words, and she just hadn't done it 100 times. And so, guys, that you are going to get there, and that's the thing. You're going to overcome your fear just by repetition over time, but the fear could kill you in the beginning, so you never get the repetition to cure it. So we have to do some things for you mindset-wise to get you there, get you through these first few deals, get you over that fear that's the stumbling block for so many of us. So actually, we're going to show you
There's actually
one main secret.
This is one main secret to totally mastering fear.
Okay, so we're going to tell you. This is, I am writing a book on this, I'm telling you right now. We have a #1 Amazon bestseller right now on real estate.
That's right.
And this book is going to be, thanks, guys. Thanks. I know a lot of you guys have read it, and we are coming out with a book on this, and this one main secret, and we're applying it to real estate investing in our next book. So be looking for that in a little while. Now, there's 15 surefire techniques. So we're going to give you the one main secret. If you master this one main secret, all these techniques can be useful to you. Okay, but once you get this main secret, you can use any of these techniques that you like along the way. So
That's
let's.
Fear
Fear
is
is
good.
good.
Fear is good. Oh, did you see? Look at Brian. That's Brian. Like when
You
he
know
was-
why fear is good, guys? Why is fear good? Look at me there. Look at me here.
Before, after.
That's why fear is good.
Before,
I had
left.
kind of a health scare, guys, and I said, wait, I always thought I was the guy who was going to live along to 90 or 100 years old and be really fit. And that just creeped up on me. I don't know how I got up to 204. And I got up to 204 somehow, and I really didn't see it coming. And then all of a sudden, I had a little health scare, and I looked in the mirror and I said, boy, I need to do something. Okay, now, I looked like that before, but I changed it in my mind, and I'm going to talk about how you're going to change it in your mind, because that's the crucial element to this. I got skinny when I looked like that, okay? I didn't get skinny when I looked like this. I was already skinny then. I was skinny now. So, but when I was heavy, I had to learn how to get skinny there and get the mindset. So I'm going to teach you guys. Right now, you may not be a successful real estate investor. You may not be doing 20, 30 deals a year and making a ton of money. But you will be, okay? And in your mind, you need to be. And in your mind, that's where it all starts. I got skinny when I looked like that. You are going to become a successful real estate investor when you look like you do right now. Okay, whatever your life looks like right now, this is when you become a successful real estate investor. Not a year from now when you have $1 million, or 10 years from now when you have millions of dollars. You become a successful real estate investor right now. Okay, right now in this room. Right now in this room. Thank you for taking that picture down. That was up too long. Okay, okay, so guys, what I love about fear, if you use it properly, it will push you to take action. It will give you energy. Sharpen your focus. Guys, back when we were living with the animals and you were confronted with a saber-toothed tiger, you better have a sharpened focus. Okay, I don't know why that music is there.
I just want to show you how music changes your mood.
Yes. That's right. I love feeling happy. I love this song. I don't know why it's there, but it's there. Okay. So why do you have... Well, go back to the last one, hon. I wasn't quite done talking about that. So did you guys all write this one down? And sharpening your focus. Sharpening your focus is key. If you're a little bit nervous when you're going into your closing calls, guys, and that makes you try to pay more attention to the script, that's good. That's the fear sharpening your focus. Remember, we're not talking about abject terror. We're talking about little butterflies you're going to have, but we're going to get you over that. So it can push you to take action, give you energy, sharpen your focus. And when can you ever show you're brave and courageous in life? Only when you're confronted with fear. I would venture to say most of you guys go through your life at this point without ever a chance to show bravery or courage, because your life is pretty much set. You do the same stuff. You're not going out venturing, but now this is your chance, guys. You are doing something new. You are venturing out. You are being a brave pioneer here in your life and starting a new thing, a new real estate investing venture. And so I'm proud of you guys. You're thinking outside the box, but inevitably, when you try something new and you're learning something new, there's going to be fear associated with it, especially when other people are watching you do it while you're new. Who's watching you do it while you're new? All the sellers. All the sellers are watching you.
That's right.
And not necessarily in an encouraging way. Okay? They're not like building you up. So why do we have fear of the phone? This is the formula, guys.
Here's the formula.
You got a newbie role mindset. Okay, so we're going to start to talk about the formula for fear is you have a newbie mindset in your head. You're thinking, I'm new at this. You're thinking, I don't know everything. I think I know a little bit, but I sure don't know as much as I'd like to know. And you're thinking thoughts like that. Guys, that keeps you in a newbie mindset. Okay, that's making you stick in this newbie mindset. And you guys who are thinker brains who keep telling me, I have to understand 80% or 90% or 70% of something before I can really take action on it, baloney. You could study this for a year and not understand all the things you want to understand. You need to understand about 10%. You need to read the scripts into the phone. You need to be able to find people to call, which your VAs do, or other people, and then you need to sit down and read a script into the phone and call them, then go over to their house and say a few more things. I mean, it's really not complicated, and you really don't have to delay and understand everything before you can really move forward at this very quickly. So we got to get you out of this newbie role mindset.
And of
That's
course
the
you
most
have
important
high
thing.
hopes.
And plus your high hopes, your fragile high hopes, okay? And so with a newbie role, there are many unknowns. Guys, when you were new in college, the first day of college or the first day of any new job you ever took, you were the newbie, and there was a lot of unknowns, and you were scared. As much as you tried to cover it up, you know, you were kind of nervous. How is this going to go, and how am I going to learn everything? Okay, but many of you guys had very successful jobs, and so you learned everything. You got through that newbie phase, okay? Now you had someone helping you. You guys have us, okay? So now this is the main part, is what I want you to understand of getting this mindset. So go ahead, honey. There's 3 ways over the newbie role.
Number 1 is training.
Remember, guys, the newbie role is where you feel fear. If I can get you out of that newbie role, I can get you out of the fear. Okay, it's all about the role. So number 1 is training, and you guys are getting the training. Now that should give you confidence. Some guys, I will tell you that some of you, okay, now here's a good example, actually. We had a student who all he did, he was already a businessman, so he had some of these roles kind of developed. But all he did was got Ron's book out of the library, believe it or not. He went to the local library and got out a bunch of books on real estate, loved Ron's, started reading Ron's, and did like 3 deals and then came to the Quick Start. He'd done deals just off Ron's book before he ever came to the Quick Start. Okay? Now that guy, that book was sufficient for him to feel like he got over that newbie role. Okay? Because if you're wandering around like a newbie, the chance of you closing a bunch of deals is slim. So you got to start thinking, I am a successful real estate investor. That is your new role. Okay? And so the more you think that, the more the whole world will join you in those thoughts, and the more it will manifest in reality. But it's got to start up here. I didn't get skinny, and the world didn't see me as skinny when I got skinny. I started up here. Same thing with your successful real estate investor role that you're taking on. So when we talk about, obviously training, we're training you guys. Experience is another way. And you know what? If you consistently do this, if you don't kind of play it like a tourist, if you actually stayed focused over the next 3 to 5 years and did even just 1 deal a month, you would have so much experience, you would never even think twice. You wouldn't have the fear. There wouldn't be any fear, guys. The fear is going to go away probably in the first few months of you closing a few deals. Okay, and most of you guys, a lot of you haven't really gotten to that point yet. So now the third way.
I would put a star by number 3, role control.
Yes,
We're
and
gonna
that's what we're
elaborate
talking
on
about
this.
now. Because guys, you can train till you're, you guys have a lot of training, but you're still scared. Okay. Also, some of you guys have some experience, but experience takes time to get, and you don't have time. We got to do this right now. We got to get you confident, and we got to get you over this fear right now. And
right.
not after 5 years of experience or 6 months of experience, right now. So role control, by using role control, we're going to shift your mindset from this newbie role. So we're going to get you out of this, you thinking that you're new at this and no, I don't know what I'm doing. How many of you have said, I don't know what I'm doing? How many of you have thought that to yourself? Okay? You're stuck in that newbie role if you're thinking that. I got to get you out of that. So your new role, guys, is what? Successful real estate investor. Yes.
Let's all say that. Successful real estate investor.
Well, go to the next screen, honey. It's on the next screen, dear.
It is?
Yeah,
Oh.
you kind of jumped the gun there.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. So guys, I want you all to say, I am a successful real estate investor, and I want to say yes, yes, yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I am a successful real estate investor. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, I am telling you that you are going to make this a reality. And you're going to say this in a year, and it's going to be, everybody's going to see it. Okay, everybody's going to see it in a year. Now, they don't necessarily see it, but you see it in your head, and you're going to build this in your head. Go to the next one, honey. Listen, this is what people say sometimes. With role control, people say, oh, fake it till you make it, right? I don't want you to fake it till you make it. I want you to create it, and then you'll make it. Pull out your forms, guys. pull out the role definition chart. This is how you create it. This is how you create your new role. Write your name on the top. Role definition chart 4.
See where it says role definition chart 4, put your name right there.
Put your name on the top line. So it's role definition chart 4, your name.
Do you guys all have one?
Yes. Does everybody have this? Okay. So, and what's the role name, guys? Successful real estate investor. Yes. Now we're going to define this role. Okay, we're defining this role. What is this role? Why do we need this role, guys? Why do we need this role of successful real estate investor in our life? Confidence, yes.
Good.
That's a huge thing. But guys, to do what tasks? See, the first line says role needed for tasks of buying and selling homes. Now, you can get specific on this, or you can leave it kind of general. I would say closing calls and deal meetings.
I would put closing calls and deal meetings under tasks.
And you need to be able to call this role up. You need, at basically the push of a button, become Mr. or Mrs. Successful Real Estate Investor and act like that and behave like that and be professional like that and know how to fill out the paperwork like that and just be that. Just be that. Now, how much of the time do you have to be that? This is the crazy thing that I realized, guys, when it hit me on October 10th, what my new book was going to be, and this whole concept of role control. This is when it hit me. I thought I had to turn you guys into this, in order for you to be successful. I don't have to turn you into this. I just got to teach you to do this for 7 to 10 hours a week.
That's 1 hour a day. If you can click into that role for 1 hour a day.
You don't have to be this all the time, and this may not naturally be you. That's the thing. If you're a librarian, I can't wave a magic wand and make you a successful real estate investor for your rest of your life. But can I teach you a role? Can I be a director?
Absolutely.
Guys, how much I have directed a lot of films and video projects. I can be your director. I can give you the scripts. Ron can give you the scripts. And then we just direct you. And we say, watch, role play. Guys, what do actors do? Do they practice? Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Do they role play the scripts? Absolutely. Yes. And so part of your job is going to be actor, actress. Now I want you to look down. I don't want to jump the gun too much. Some of the tasks you're needing is closing calls and deal meetings. I want you to just look down here. There's sub roles to things. Now this overall successful real estate investor, that's your new role. Okay, everybody in this room, this is your new role as of now. You are a successful real estate investor. Now, there are sub-roles to that you need to employ in certain situations. This is why the closing calls get dicey. Because you got to be in about 4 roles. You got to play about 4 roles in the closing call. And if you don't understand that, or if you're confused about it, it will give you trouble. Okay, so here's the roles. Now, you need, let's look at these sub-roles quickly. Business me. Okay, now I like putting me after the roles. You're owning these roles. This is you guys. So you have a business me. All of you guys have a business me. Some of your business me's are massively developed. Who has another business outside of real estate investing? Okay, now if you have another business and have had that other business for 20 years and have made a lot of money doing it, you probably got a very strong business me. Who's never set up an LLC and an EIN number with an EIN number and a bank account? Okay, see, you guys need help on your business me, right? Don't you? You're going to need you don't need massively developed business me to be successful in real estate investing. You need to do some basics. You need to be able to set up a bank account, some LLCs. You need to understand some of the things Ron was talking about yesterday with setting up your entities. That's your business me. In fact, your business me was in high gear over the first 2 days of this event. Okay, your friendly neighbor me, which is one of my favorite me's, was engaged on the breaks when you're building rapport with other people and networking. Okay, so these are the roles you're going to play. This business me is important for real estate to get set up and get your systems in place. But Global has made being business me a lot easier because they've done a lot of these systems for you. Okay, good student me. Who's a good student me? Who's good in that role? Who feels very comfortable in that role of being a good student?
Good student me.
Okay, I was a good student. I feel very comfortable in that role. Now, if you were a bad student in school, never studied, never cared, guys, why? That was because you didn't care about learning that material. Listen, that was because of that wasn't because of a deficiency in you. That was a lack of motivation to learn obscure material.
Yeah.
You don't care about algebra, and you're never going to use it when you graduate. So you're a bad student in that class. I understand, guys. Now you need to turn it. Now you need to all become good students, because what you are learning now is going to make you money.
Green.
Yes.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
You should be very motivated.
So now you're motivated to be a good student.
What does Lynette say?
Cha-ching. Cha-ching.
Cha-ching. That's
Very
right.
good. And this is my favorite role. Deal maker me. That is my favorite. When I sit
Well,
down and get on
honey,
the
don't
phone-
jump ahead of me.
Okay.
Okay. I'm still a good student, me. Guys, that is important, guys. So everybody needs, in your 7 to 10 hours of role definite. Now remember, this is your new role for 7 to 10 hours a week as a successful real estate investor. So I am telling you right now, you should jot down probably 1 to 2 hours a week next to good student me, at least for studying, for listening to conference calls, being on, all you guys have been to the Quick Start, there's a Quick Start alumni call, or most of you guys, that it happens every month that Lynette and I do, or Ron does this month. So all these training things, good student me is probably 2 hours, especially in the beginning. I'll tell you what, in the beginning, maybe 3 hours out of your 7 to 10. More so in the beginning, less so as you progress, okay? But you need that good student me, guys. You can't ignore that. And if you just hate studying, remember, we made our videos and stuff and our what to say and what to do with Ron. We made those so you don't have to be a great student and read a bunch of stuff. You can watch it on TV, so that makes it easier to be a good student. Just watch those videos over and over. You can watch them on your phone, so that's an easier way to be a good student me. And find a way. If you just hate sitting down and studying, get a study buddy. Figure
study buddy.
Yeah, figure out a way to have fun with it and to learn. And you're going to need, it's always good to have somebody who can role play with you. You got the videos, you can role play with those, but also role playing, that's by yourself. I mean, you could just sit there and role play the videos with role play with all your videos by yourself and be a really good student and get really good at this really fast. If this is your area, guys, if this is your specialty, if you're a great student, I'm telling you, you could surpass all these people who are great deal makers and all they think they're so hot just because you're a great student. You learn the script pretty much word for word and you stick to it well. So that's a really important one. Friendly neighbor me, I love that one. Now, guys, what is that important for? That part in the call when you need to build rapport. Yes, so write down build rapport.
Build
when you're
rapport
building
next to that
rapport,
one.
you're going to turn into friendly neighbor me. So that's pretty early in the call. And most of you guys, who feels comfortable in this role? Who feels like they can chat up people and good at small talk and good talker? Okay, so
Most of
if you're friendly with your neighbors and stuff and you can strike up a conversation in the elevator, you're probably pretty good at friendly neighbor me. That's a good thing to get better at. Now remember, here's a way to get better at it. We gave you guys at the Quick Start a rapport building scripts form. Okay, it's just a one-page form with a whole bunch of rapport-building scripts that you guys can learn. If you walked into a party and you didn't know anybody, everybody's going to be scared and nervous because they don't have the right scripts. But if they walked in there and they were like a spy and they prepared for this party for 30 days and they had all the scripts and every little character they knew and they had a script for each one, wow, that's role control. That's perfect role control, and so they would never be scared walking in. They'd be ready for everything. So, guys, you don't have to be that ready. You have to be sort of ready. You have to do the studying and stuff, and part of it is this good neighbor me. Friendly neighbor me. And now Lynette's part is the deal maker me.
That's right. When you go into the deal maker me, you got the telephone right here, right? You got the telephone. You got your 3-minute sand timer, and you've got your, courage, whatever it takes. And you sit down, and you're like, I'm a deal maker. I'm a deal maker. Guess what? This lead looks awesome. Even though it says no, and they said no mortgage information. This lead looks awesome because I'm a deal maker. So it's that mentality that you're thinking.
Yes.
When I sit down, I'm excited. I'm a deal maker me.
All
The
right,
second
now,
I sit down.
Let me say this. I will tell you that Lynette's really good at this, but this is the one role that scares the most of you. That when it gets, most of you are okay in the friendly neighbor me. Hey, I can build a little rapport. I can think of something to say. I can just ask them about their house or something. And most of you are okay at the business me, where you say your 3-line bio. Now Ron talks about that too, where you have to tell them a little bit about who you are. And I want you to come up with something there. That's very important. You should just all write that down. If you don't have a 3-line real estate investor bio, I call it a REI bio, you got to write this. This is really important, and this will help build your confidence, and this builds your role. Actually, this is the infancy of your role, really, is you're defining your role. You know what I should have wrote on this? I should have had a space for 3-line bio. Okay?
Yep.
Because that's this person to the outside world. That's you explaining this person, who you are as a successful real estate investor, to others. So everybody needs that 3-line bio. It shouldn't be long. Although I will tell you, have 2 versions. Because sometimes you get on there with some elderly person or somebody who just likes to talk, and they want to hear your whole story. It's like they're eating it up, and everything you say. Oh, really? Oh, I have a dog. Oh, I used to live in Minnesota. Oh, and so you can go on and on a little bit there. And remember, guys, you really only need to close 1 deal a month to make a ton of money at this. I know a lot of you have higher goals than that.
1 deal.
But so, if you really make
week.
friends with one person and the numbers all look good going in, I don't want you spending a half an hour on the phone with somebody where it's a no and the numbers don't even work. Okay? I mean, if the numbers possibly work and it's a no because they didn't understand it or something, spend the time, build the rapport, and for that you need the friendly neighbor me. Now, the deal maker me, you're going through these parts in the beginning of the call. Just write this down because this is important, guys. In the closing call, we're going to talk about this more, but here's the goals of the closing call. So when you guys do a closing call, your first goal is to establish credibility, and so that you need to come off professional. Number 1 is, these are goals of the closing call. 1, establish credibility. 2, build rapport. 3, work out the 4 or 3 pretty house deal points. As far as you want to go on term, but the 3 or 4 pretty house deal points, we call them. Okay, these are Ron's big 3, the big 3 questions. So that's where the deal maker kicks in. You don't need the deal maker to build rapport. You don't need the deal maker for business me to look, credible. You need the deal maker to work out the deal. Okay, now guess what? You can work out the deal without the deal maker. If you just never have ever done sales and sales scares the heck out of you and you think deal making, that's scary to me, guess what? You could actually go into 2 other roles in this part. You could go into what I like to call good shepherd me. I didn't even write that. Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah, good shepherd me.
See that one, guys? Guys, what is sales? What's the sales process? It's you guiding people through a series of decisions. And they need to make these 4 decisions because you got 4 blanks on the contract and you can't fill them out. You can't sign it. So you're guiding them through these 4, and this is a role I'm very comfortable in. Now, is this a role that Ron plays a lot on a closing call? No, he has a different approach. And now you guys are all going to have different approaches. And Lynette doesn't really do good shepherd much either. Now, that's a role I like. It feels comfortable to me. And and now sometimes, guys, be careful. If you like that role and you're comfortable in that role and you're naturally kind of a nurturing person or whatever, remember, some people aren't going to be a sheep. So if you go into good shepherd and they don't want to be a sheep, it ain't going to work. So if there's some kind of a hard-bitten investor, you're not going to be guiding them through the process like a shepherd. But there's a ton of sellers out there who really are in need of guidance and actually are grateful for you taking that kind of a tone with them and kind of helping them through the process. So, and then caring investor is a lot like that. Now, some of you guys, that's really feels good to you, and that's why you're doing this, to help people. I mean, obviously, you're here to make money. Everybody wants to make money here, but being able to do something where you're helping everybody that you're coming in contact to in a major way. I mean, these are people going through major life transitions, moving in and out of properties, and you're able to do some really amazing things when you use these strategies. Good reader me. Okay, that's another one. If you're scared about the deal maker part, just turn into a good reader. Read the closing call really good in that part. Okay, when you're working out those 4 pretty house deal points, just read the script really carefully and try to stick to the script. So that's sort of like your bailout position. Now, actor, actress me, I wrote for the next one. Now that, guys, I don't care. Now, sometimes you might want to think of yourself that role. Some people would love to think of it that way, because we had a testimonial from a gal who had closed in California, and she'd closed a whole bunch of deals. And she said, the way I did it, and this is before I ever came up with all this stuff, she said, the way I did it was I just pretended I was an actress like Lynette. And I just acted like Lynette, and so she,
That's right.
that's what she did.
I
So
remember that.
guys, it's kind of like you are kind of a little bit of an actor or an actress a little bit when because what are you doing, guys? You're reading a script. You're reading a script, and especially when you're out at the house. I want you to walk through the house and you're kind of acting, guys. Let's face it, we all act and we all play all these different roles all the time. And that's what you don't realize until you really look at it. You say, okay, so like when I'm with my brother, I act this way. When I'm with my kids, I act this way. When I'm at work with my boss, I'm in that role. And then when I'm with my people working under me, I'm this role. And so you start to realize, wow, I'm like 100 different roles in my life. I'm so different with my kids. That's my good dad role. That's my loving father role. Or over here, it's my loving husband role. Okay, now I love that role. And now sometimes when I get really annoyed, I have to really strive for that role. Loving husband.
What does that mean?
No, she's easy to live with. I just keep telling myself that.
Okay, I'm going to put you up. I'm going to put you up.
I'm in my loving husband role. It works.
Thank you,
I'm telling you,
honey.
this stuff really works if you think.
Okay, let's move on. We're moving on.
Okay. Okay, now guys, we all have to get a paperwork me. I don't care how you get the right mentality on this paperwork me, but even if you hate doing paperwork, you have to. Now, what is a common trait? What's a trait that may not be your natural personality that you need to have to fill out paperwork? Patience. Yeah, who said that?
Patience. Who said patience?
Yeah, patience. Now, patience is something you may not naturally be born with, like Lynette. Okay, but now usually either you delegate. Now Lynette delegates. She doesn't, but she can do paperwork too, guys. She's done plenty of paperwork, so don't think she can't go into that role.
Yes,
but
I
now
can.
you got to have a paperwork role. Who's done a ton of paperwork in their life? And okay, a lot of you guys.
Okay.
And so maybe paperwork is nothing to you. And the simple paperwork we do doesn't even faze you for a second. Now, some of you guys are freaked out. Some of you guys, you come to us and you say, that's my biggest worry is I can't do the paperwork. Okay, so you need to find a role in your head that has patience, and think of a role model. Now, I'm going to give you a bunch more techniques here, 15 more techniques, to kind of slip in and out of these roles. I'll tell you, one of the best things Lynette is great at is what I call role fluidity. She can switch from one role to the other role with like in a flash.
Yep.
And now most of us, it's harder. And when it's time to make our calls, you got to flow into this role, okay? Now, what roles do you have to flow into? Really, if you're getting set up to make your closing calls, you have to be ready to go into business me, friendly neighbor me, and some form of deal maker me, which is usually the scary part for people,
Yeah.
okay? So really, it's really those three roles are mainly what you're going to be using on your closing calls. But like I said, that deal maker me really could be a variety. You could be like good shepherd me. There's different ways that you can play it depending on what feels the best and most comfortable for you to play the role in that situation. Okay, so snappy dresser me. Guys, I want you to dress snappy when you go out to these pretty houses. Okay, can everybody dress kind of snappy? Don't wear a tuxedo, but But good driver me, yes, and that means you leave 10 minutes early so that you are at the appointment 10 minutes early. Who is always racing every time they drive somewhere? Okay, well, that's not a good driver. That's not a good driver. So when you're going to your appointments, just for your appointments, you can drive like a bat out of hell maniac the rest of your life, but on your way to your appointments, you have to be in good driver me role. Okay, and then helper me, fixer me, and fighter me.
Yes.
Okay, guys, sometimes you have to be in fixer me. Sometimes they got issues, and there's issues with the deal. And this is important. Who kind of has that natural role? They like to be a fixer.
Fixer.
See, now my dad was an engineer, and that's one thing he taught me was just to look at stuff and always try to make it better. Now, sometimes that kind of makes me look like I'm grouchy because I'm going around just looking for stuff to fix all the time, and I look kind of stern. So I've adopted a role, and this is a role with, in my mind, fixer with a smile. So when I'm walking around sometimes and I feel like I'm not enjoying my life enough, I think fixer with a smile. And so I shift into that role. And that role, and guys, you can take this role chart and you can fill this out for any role in your life. And trust me, you got hundreds of roles. Maybe not hundreds, but a ton of roles that you play. But there's a lot that you play very consistently. Like when you go to work, if you have a regular work job, you have a very, designed role there. Now that we've kind of gone through those guys, I want to get back to these. Now, the tasks of your role, did you all write closing call and deal meetings? That's the scariest part. So let's just use our successful real estate investor role to accomplish those tasks. So where it says tasks, the role is needed for the tasks of closing calls and deal meetings. That's primarily where you need to overcome the fear and use this role, okay? Now, your role goals, and I'm just going to tell you, everybody has a different goal. 1 deal a month, 3 deals a month. I'd like you all to try to do 10 deals this year. Okay, everybody in here should be shooting for 10 deals this year by the end of the year. Minimum.
Minimum.
Okay, minimum. And you don't have to do that much. You're going to be able to shift into this role. This fear is going to drop away as you define this role. You guys better save this sheet. This sheet better be posted somewhere because this sheet's going to change your life. This is going to define the new role, the new you, that you have to play this new role for how much per week?
7 to 10 hours.
About 7 to 10 hours a week. Okay, now let's look at, so the goals, write down just generally how many deals you want to do. Okay, if you already know, and you should already know this, honestly, you should already have a goal for this year. You should already, when I say what's your goal for 2019, how many deals you want to do, you should know it. Okay, so if you got that, write it in there, but I want you to write minimum of 10. Now, let's get into the traits and the skill sets. Now,
Let's start with the 7 steps of role control.
Oh, okay.
Okay, everybody has this, right? The 7 steps of role control.
Okay, remember this is all, the whole idea of being able to shift into this role easily and have this role very strongly established in your mind is to drop the fear. Because is your successful real estate investor role afraid? Walking around afraid? Absolutely not. Very confident. In fact, let's look, we're going to look at the traits in a sec. Okay. First of all, guys, this is how it works. Role identification. So we're identifying a role to either accept or reject. Guys, I want you to reject real estate newbie. I seriously want you to reject real estate newbie and not think of yourself that way anymore. Now, let's identify the role to accept and the need for the role. Well, that's obvious. We all want to be successful real estate investors. We all want to make a lot of money. That's the need for the role. And help other people. I guess that's our primary 2 goals, is make a lot of money and help other people. That's your role identification, and that's the need for the role. That's why you need this role. Help your family, obviously. Leave a legacy. I write down that too, the need for the role, to leave a legacy behind for your kids and your family. Okay, then you need to define the role.
Number 2, define the role.
Yeah.
This has to be a very clear vision.
So what are we doing? We're completing the role def chart, the role definition chart right now. The more you want to do this, I obviously have this in Word version too, but I don't know how to get it to you, but you can write on this, and I want you to be able to expand these boxes because there's more traits and skill sets that you're going to come up with that you feel like you need. Okay, so number 3.
Number 3 is role acceptance and commitment. That's where you're going to embrace the role, and I want you to sign this role definition chart. See on the bottom? I want you to sign the bottom. That's a commitment. That you're going to commit to your new role.
Absolutely, guys. You're committing to this now. Scheduling. Now, number 4 is what?
Number 4.
Number 4 is schedule the time frames. Okay, guys, do you already have a schedule? We talk about this at the Quick Start all the time, that we don't even want you leaving there until you have a 7 to 10 hour schedule written out. Otherwise, you know what? You could go home and you could think that you're doing way more than you are, and you're not getting the results because you're not really scheduling it, and you kind of lose track of it, and you get away from it. So the schedule is really your lifeline. And so I want you to write in. Look on your role definition chart, guys. Under traits, that's where you write your schedule. So there's 7 to 10. Whatever 7 to 10 hours, I'm telling you, it's helpful if probably 3 to 4 hours is on a Saturday. A lot of stuff happens on Saturdays. You can get out there and see a lot of houses and that. So your schedule, 7 to 10 hours, an hour here, whatever days you think. And remember, it's very flexible because sometimes you'll get a hot lead and, you weren't scheduled to call that day, but you're going to call that day. And you might even go out on an appointment that day. Now, specific duties, I have big, long charts on this. But again, you're probably mostly focusing on closing calls and deal meetings, but there's a lot of other duties that are going to be required of a successful real estate investor?
Number 5 is inhabit the role.
Okay, so back to the 7 steps for role control. After you schedule your time frames, remember you may have to shift into successful real estate investor role even when it's not in your time frame. Because all of a sudden the phone rings. Now who's really good at that? The phone she's in one mood and the phone rings and all of a sudden she's in this, is Lynette. So she's really good.
Snap into the role.
Yeah, if the phone could just ring, and you could just say, oh, bang, you're here, you're this. Okay, that's what you want to be able to do. And you'll get that. You just have to, keep studying this and getting more used to this and just doing it over and over again, shifting into your role here. Okay, so then inhabit the role. And so that's, being able to shift into, sometimes I call it flow into this role and be able to inhabit and then really live that role and do what that role requires. And exhibit these traits, which we're going to get to in a little bit. Okay? And then really the next step, number 6, that's when you immerse yourself in a role. That's like the difference between me playing Abraham Lincoln and Daniel Day-Lewis playing Abraham Lincoln. He's so immersed in that role. People say he doesn't even break character on the set. He's walking around like Abraham Lincoln for 6 months. So that's how immersed he is. Guys, you don't have to immerse like that in this successful real estate investor role. But, if Lynette does. Lynette's pretty immersed.
Yeah.
When she's going through a closing call session, she says pretty immersed in this successful real estate investor role. And you can watch her in the hallway and it's like nobody exists but that call, even with people around and everything, she's so focused. So that's that kind of immersion. And you guys will get that as time goes on. You don't need it, but when you get to that point, that's when you really find yourself closing deals you never thought you'd get. Okay, that's when you really get good. So number 7, now this is a tricky one. You got to heed your role governor, me. So you have a role governor who sort of governs what role you're in at any given time. So this is where you have to exert executive control as a human being and say, this is my role governor and I'm in the wrong role right now. I'm supposed to be in successful real estate investor role and I'm in newbie role and I'm thinking all the wrong ways because of it. So let me look at my chart again, my role definition chart, and center myself again. Okay, now I'm in this successful real estate investor role. Now I'm in the right role. Okay, also sometimes you guys are in roles and you haven't defined the role right, and so there's other issues there. But right now, guys, I just want you to be able to shift into this role and out of this role too. Remember, you can be a workaholic sometimes. So you family and everybody still wants you. So when it gets to be 9 o'clock and your time is over, sometimes people have trouble shifting out of this. So they're so into the successful real estate investor role. So remember at the end, number 7, if it's time to end your calls, don't call too late and stuff. So guys, this is an important series of steps to follow to get to here. Okay, now let's look at these traits. These are the traits that I want you to focus on. The first one is, I didn't know how to say it other than commitment ability. Okay, do you guys have the ability to make a real commitment? And some people do and some people don't. Some people are constantly chasing the bright, shiny objects. They can't really focus because then they know it would take real effort and then they are afraid if they fail and they really tried and then they fail, oh my gosh, then there's something wrong with them. So they never really put it out there and never really truly commit. Okay, guys, you found something you can truly commit to. You found a business and you found a family here with Global and us you can really commit to. And so I want you to have massive commitment ability here. Now, confidence, circle confidence. That's obviously a huge trait for a successful real estate investor, so confidence is important, communicator. Now, we're going to talk about acquisitionists tomorrow and working with an acquisitionist. And I will tell you right now that all these first 10 C traits are the same as what you're looking for in an acquisitionist. So this is what I'm looking for in you guys, because that's what you need, is these traits to execute this business successfully. You don't have to have every one of these, but if you have a little bit, if you want to score yourself on these 1 through 10, I find that can be an interesting exercise.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Commitment ability. You know what? I made a commitment to Lynette. I never looked back. I'm pretty good actually at commitment.
Yeah,
Of course, that was like a given. It was like once I met her, it was over.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I lost my heart. I was thinking about it, when we fell in love, guys, it was a different world. There weren't cell phones and stuff, and we were junkies for each other. I mean, if she was at work, that was the only time, or if I was at work, that was the only time we weren't together. Otherwise, from the day we met, we spent every waking minute with each other for the next 3 years. We never even had one day that we weren't together for like 3 years until I had to go do some job out of state.
That's right.
So yeah, it was amazing. So competitive, you don't have to be super competitive, but it's helpful. It's helpful if you want to do better and do better. Coachable, please underline that, guys, because how coachable are you? Are you really listening to what we're telling you, and are you applying it in the real world? Okay, that's what coachable means, and if you're doing that, you're going to be okay. That may be the most important one. Confidence and coachable, those two there are really great.
I'd say those are the two most important.
Yeah, competitive, charming is good. You can use charm. Capable, you should be capable enough not to mess up the paperwork, and not mess up the appointments. But I'm telling you, you don't have to be totally, perfect on that stuff. Considerate, that's really important. Cash hungry. That's helpful. I mean, I don't want you desperate though. I don't want you.
No, that comes off if you're
because
desperate.
that comes off in your appointment. But if you're hiring somebody, just somebody who wants to make a lot of money. I'd love to make 6 figures this year. So if you guys say, hey, I want to make 6 figures for sure this year in real estate investing, that doesn't take very much from you guys. That's a couple deals. But, I want you thinking, when I talk to you and we're meeting in the hall and stuff, if you say, I really am going to make 10, I'm going to do 10 deals this year no matter what, I'm going to do whatever it takes, that kind of thing, that kind of commitment. And now clever, that's important. Deal maker like Lynette, that can be very helpful if you're a deal maker. Problem solver, that's good in any business. You might as well just put, that's almost like a general business thing.
Yeah.
If you have a good business owner, when a problem pops up, they don't whine about the problem and, say, oh, why did this happen to me? Or why is this problem happening? They just fix it.
Fix it.
So that's that fixer, the problem solver. Resourceful, and guys, you are all resourceful enough to find us, to find Global. And you guys, this is a great resource. You found an amazing resource for being successful as a real estate investor. In fact, you got awesome resources on your side here. And being resilient and persistent, because everything doesn't always go smooth, and you got to, know that. Okay, now skill sets,
right.
We're just going to run through these in a second, guys. Communication skills are good, rapport building. Smartphone skills, that's important. And that's really good on a smartphone, and it's helpful. Online skills, you're going to be using a lot of online stuff. We're going to talk more about that. But social media skills, organizational skills, are you really good at organizing your office, keeping everything in shape? Property evaluation, how good are you at that? Even pretty houses, guys, they're not as in-depth as uglies, but you still got to be able to walk through and figure out how to structure the deal. So deal structuring skills is there. Sales closing skills, that's helpful if you've got it. We can train you through that if you don't. Because basically it's just following a script and helping someone make decisions. So it is helpful though if you probably have some of that. Paperwork skills, some of you guys we already found out are very good at that, and that's not your challenge. Some home design skills can be helpful. Some teaching skills, because when you get an acquisitionist, guys, you're going to have to be able to teach them a little bit and for them to take over your business. And that's where the delegation and managerial skills come in. Because I don't want you, I want you to form a business. We want you to get this business going and then be able to step back and just manage it, and not have to be in there day to day, having other people going out and doing these appointments and everything. So we wrote some stuff on the schedule, specific duties. We don't have time to do these other things, but I just want you to know they're in here. Applicable experiences, if you guys have real estate experience in some way or something, you can put in there. Helpful history, times you've been successful, successes you've had. Wardrobe, what you're going to wear, tools. A lot of you guys have our scripts, and obviously all the scripts and manuals and everything from all the events that you've been to, those are all tools for you. You're going to have some team members, habits. Now mentors, obviously some of you guys actually have a specific mentor for real estate investing through Global, and role models are really important. So find other people who are having that kind of success and think about them. Use them for role models. We talk about this as a new role. How do you not have a role model? So follow other people that you know are having success and copy what they say and do, and that's how you follow a role model. So now I want you guys all to continue to use this form and add to it and post this somewhere, this is your new role. This is you, guys. This is the new you for 7 to 10 hours a week. And this is the you that's going to make you a whole bunch of money and accomplish all the tasks that need to be accomplished on the top of the page. Okay, so now these, we're going to really whip because I
Yeah.
didn't know how long that was going to take.
So we
we're
have-
going to go very fast through these 15 techniques. I will tell you how they apply to the role control as we go through them.
So we have 15 sure methods of mastering your fear. Number 1, turn fear into action.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to show you what they are.
Well, now we
write
can-
this down. Wait.
Yeah, keep going forward.
Hold on. I went the wrong. Okay. Okay, all right. So there are 15 methods. We're going to talk about it. What Ron said is after we do live seller calls tonight from 6 to 7:30, if you guys want to see us go into depth on these 15 methods
Okay, but let
to
me
handle
just
fear.
let me just talk very briefly about each one, okay?
No, just go. No, tonight. We're going to do it tonight.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Honey, you can take a picture though.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I will tell you that these all relate back to some form of role control. What we got to do, guys, the problem is that you're out there and you're in the wrong role. So you're ready to pick up that phone and you have zero confidence because you're thinking of yourself as a newbie and you're thinking the wrong thoughts. You're not in the right role. That's why you need to, the more you can focus on this. What, are you confident when you're a successful real estate investor? Absolutely.
Yes.
And now, this isn't confidence born out of ignorance. You have studied this. You have paid money and gone to some serious, great training on this. Okay, so this is something that you have earned the right to say, just other than time, guys. Time is the only thing between you and evidence that you're a successful real estate investor. Right now, you should be thinking of yourself in your mind and using this chart as much as you can to be thinking, I am a successful real estate investor, and keep on, thinking that way and adhering to that as much as possible. And remember this other chart, this is very helpful for getting into that role. You got to be able to switch quickly into that role sometimes. But if it's scheduled in advance, it's easier. If you know, I have to go into my successful real estate investor role at 7 o'clock tonight, and you know that, a lot of times it's a lot less scary when it comes time to do it because you knew it was coming all the time and you're ready and you're emotionally and psychologically ready.
Want me to go
Okay.
back? Okay. I'm going to go back one.
Okay, so I'll tell you, this is one of the biggest things, the biggest changes for us in our office too, is that we've had our people really focus on the right role with the right mentality. If you see on the bottom of this, guys, there's a part to write your self-talk. Okay, so under the chart part, there's a part to write your self-talk.
Oh yeah, it's on the role definition chart. Remember where you put your name on the top on the role definition chart?
Yeah.
You guys have that page?
So what are some good things you can be telling yourselves right now? What's my motto? I expect success. Okay, so write that one. Is that what you were going to say? Yes. But expectations is a huge thing, guys. And when you go into something new, like most of you guys are going into the pretty house business. This is a newer thing. Going in with expectations of success is obviously a huge, huge thing. So I expect success is a big thing to tell yourself going in. What's
Expect
after
success.
this? Yeah.
Did you finish? Did they all sign the bottom? on
Yes.
this?
Okay. So now, guys, I want you all to stand up. Everybody's going to stand up.
Okay, everybody stand up.
We're going to finish early, Ron. Okay, guys. Now, I want you guys to be, everybody's thinking of themselves as a successful real estate investor, so I want you to do this chant. And I'd love it if you did this chant every morning and several times during the day. And basically, it's just, I am a successful real estate investor, and then we like the yes, yes, yes. Now, I'm going to give you another little twist on this. Okay, if you do a little what we call a physical anchor, and this is going to be a trigger for you later, you do a little physical gesture. Now, Carol Burnett used to tug on her earlobe, or different people had different little things they do. Now, I do a thing where I flip a switch on the side of my head. I start feeling the emotion even when I just get close to doing a gesture, but I kind of scrape my finger across the side of my head, and it's like I'm flipping a switch is what I'm visualizing. So I'm flipping a switch to go into this successful real estate investor role. Now, when you're in that role, and every time you chant, I am a successful real estate investor, yes, 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 and you're really feeling it, if you do that same gesture, now it has to be a gesture you would never do at any other time, and something a little different. So everybody think of something. Yeah, don't slap your face. But do something that's a unique sensation, that you would not have another time. And I'm telling you that if you do it every time, if you do that every time you get excited, or if you close a deal on the phone, do that a couple of times, your gesture. And I'm telling you, you can trigger that role at any moment just with the gesture. So you don't have to psych yourself up, right? You can just do that gesture, and all of a sudden you feel all that confidence and successful emotion. And we're all together here so we can feel it as a collective group, okay? So do you all have a gesture to do? Do you all have something to do?
I know
okay, because you want to do it right when we say yes, 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 when you're super excited, okay? All right, so I am a successful real estate investor, yes, yes, yes. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I am a successful real estate investor. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Awesome. All right, big round of applause, guys.
That was
Okay,
awesome.
so Ron's going to have us call it for lunch, I guess, right here.
Yes. Are we
So-
going to lunch, Ron? It's in the hallway? Box lunch in the hallway. So they grab the box lunch and then come back in here?
I could teach
Look,
the
Ron's
rest of
running.
this.
Look at Ron, he's running.
I could teach the rest of this while we're eating our lunches. Yeah.
Okay, first of all, that was an incredible presentation.
Oh.
And that is why I really didn't want to cut it short, okay? In fact, you could spend a whole day with him. This is really good stuff. And in fact, it's so good, it was taped, and we're going to put it on the Gold Club site so you can drag it down and play it as soon as we can get it up on the site, okay? So, well, thank them. I mean, they did the work. And I just didn't want to rush it, okay? He didn't know I was going to interrupt him. Now, when you go get your lunch, I'm going to bring it back in here, and we'll give you a little time to eat. But during lunch, that's when we're going to do the Q&A for anything this morning or here. And remember, we've got to do them on mics. And remember, we're on videoing you. So if you're not here with someone you're supposed to be with, please do not get in front of that camera. You notice it's on your back right now. All right. So we're going to go get the box. You don't hurt each other. And come back in here, sit down, start eating. I'll let you know when it's time. We'll start the Q&A, and we're going to continue that right on until we start. After lunch, we're going to start practicing. And literally means we got to divide into groups of 6s. And I'll figure all of that out.
Yes.
All right?
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys again. Good job.
Thank you.
Go get them. Plenty of boxes. Don't hurt each other. 1 box per person now.
And eat the box.
Yeah, and as expensive as that box is, eat everything. That box cost almost as much as dinner last night at Diggy's, believe it or not.